What is up? What's going on, everybody? Johnny here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about transition. Today is the day. Today is the day, the last day of active duty service. 20 years of service today, and it's truly humbling. I have been extremely blessed throughout my Air Force career and everything that has come with it, from the deployments, the TDYs, the trainings, the opportunities for leadership, the growth, the transformation, the legacy that I've been able to build, all because of being able to step into this position, the great leaders, the mentors that I had along the way that gave me the opportunities to lead, to grow, to become the lieutenant colonel, the officer that I am, the man that I am today, the husband, the father, the brother, the son, the friend, the coach that I am today. All was because of the Air Force and the good Lord. And so it's definitely a day of reflection, not a sad day. It's just we're closing this chapter, we're moving on to the next chapter. I really started my transition out of the service 10 years ago, where my wife and I, we had our own, we started our fix and flip business. We saw real estate as a way, a vehicle to build wealth, buying dilapidated houses, buying foreclosures, and being able to add value, keep some as rentals, sell some, produce income to turn over, invest again, and to the tune where we've been able to build an 8-figure portfolio, especially after we started buying apartment complexes and seeing the power of apartment complexes and how you can build wealth, that we just took it to a whole nother level and it just amplified. And so it's been a blessing. And you know, one of the things that I see a lot of veterans struggle with, as I've had more conversations and being in rooms with other people going through the transition process, a lot of people aren't prepared for transition out of the military. They lose their identity. They don't know how to transition their skills over from the military and how those apply to, you know, corporate America, and understanding what that entails. With now you're transitioning, you're losing your rank, you're losing your position, and you're coming into the private sector as just another Joe Blow, and you have to figure out how does that work for you. And a lot of times you have family in the background, you're relocating, having to make another move when you're depending on where you're retiring from or separating from. And so there's a lot of change, and we know people, there's a lot of fear that comes with change and a lot of disruption. And so the big thing for me, I boiled it down to 3 things, looking back over my 20 years, that set me up for success long term in this framework. And I'm actually going to talk about this and teach it tonight during my virtual launch for my wealth advising role with Right Time Financial, and talking about that whole transition tonight. But it really comes down to 3 things: mindset, your finances, and your legacy. And it's those 3 things that come together, and when you have those 3 in harmony is when you're going to find that transformation in your life and be able to step into your greatness. And for me, you know, it starts with the mindset. Like with my coaching clients and helping them optimize what it is that they have going on in regards to their resources at their disposal, and a lot of those being veterans, like taking where they are today and getting them to where they want to be in the future. And it starts with mindset, that the people perish for a lack of a vision. You have to have a vision. You have to have knowledge. You have to understand where you're trying to go. And if you don't have a plan for your life, guess what? You're planning to fail. I'm gonna say it again. If you don't have a plan for your life, you're planning to fail. And so being able to have that foresight to see in the future, understand what it is that you want to achieve in your life, but at the same time knowing what it is that you don't want for your life. And so having that clarity of purpose goes a long way. And that was one of the things that the military taught me, was being able to plan, the emphasis on planning, being able to plan out large acquisition, billion-dollar programs. But it takes 7 years to build this satellite. But guess what? We're starting right now on day 1. We're bringing the ideas out. We're writing it down on paper. We're getting proposals from different contractors, and we're making it happen. But it starts with a plan. You have to plan up front. And so that was one of the things that I learned early on as an acquisition officer, is the power of planning. And, you know, when stepping into my intelligence officer role with leading missions and operations on that side, planning was a whole nother level because it was life and death. It wasn't just, we're putting some iron together and throwing some solar panels on it and whatever else that we need on there and going. But no, it was no kidding that we needed to actually plan the operations, or guess what? People may not come home at night. And so that's the thing that you really understand with the military, is the emphasis on planning. And so that planning allows you to move with speed, to move with clarity, because guess what? You have a plan. And guess what? You have a plan B. If something happens, you know what adjustments you need to make. So mindset and understanding what it is that you want to do, and knowing that there's other people that have been successful in that area before you, it makes it reassuring. It makes it real. Because I'll tell you, growing up, I didn't have any real estate investors. My dad was a Vietnam veteran in the Army. And for me, I didn't have an Air Force officer or officer in the house, but he had the vision for my life and saying, hey, you can do this. Like, if they're gonna pay for you to go to school, they're gonna train you, and you can go off and make these moves and make these decisions. And he was right. And so the thing is, a lot of times you're gonna have to borrow other people's confidence in order to maximize your mindset to see what's possible and attainable for your life, because you won't be able to see it based off your limited environment. That's why I really love reading books, because books allow you to tap into someone else's mindset, someone else's experience, and to the possibilities for your own self, your own life. And so being able to consume books and understand how other people set themselves up for success and build wealth in this instance, that really changed my life and brought on that transformation. And I like to say, taking me from broke Johnny to woke Johnny, and understanding that there's a different mindset for wealth, because wealth starts with an idea. I love to say, when you talk about the iPhone, like the iPhone, changed how people communicate and the ability to connect with other individuals. But guess what? It all started right here. It started with an idea that brought the iPhone to life. And it's no different than anything else, that if you're looking to level up in your life, you're gonna have to come up with better ideas, better strategies. And it starts with coming up with strategies for your own personal life. So that's the mindset side of it. After mindset is finances, that you got to understand how everything moves. And guess what? Most of the wealth is controlled by, I would say, the top 10, 20% of Americans. But guess what? If you look at it, the economy in the United States is built off consumers. Guess what? 70% of the GDP, the gross domestic product, what's being produced in the United States, is by consumers spending money. So it's only right that, guess what? At the bottom, 50% have less than $50,000 saved for retirement. It makes sense, because what? Everybody's focused on consuming. They're not looking on how to build wealth. They're not producing anything. They're just consuming. And so that's the thing that you have to realize, that when you look at investing in the stock market, you're buying assets. You're buying companies that are producing things. When you buy real estate, buy other assets that cash flow, you're buying assets that are producing income. And the thing is, you have to get out of the consumer mindset and become a producer. And so when you start looking at the finances and having multiple streams of income, we see a lot of upheaval right now in the government with government employees. The economy's not economy, but the government's about to shut down. And a lot of people, they only have one source of income, and that's their job. And now when you lose that one source of income, that's scary. And that's when you look at millionaires, over 65% have 3 streams of income. Over 33% have over 5 streams of income, whether it's a business, it's real estate, it's apartment complexes, it's writing a book, it's having a consulting coaching business, it's having a normal W-2 job. It could be a multitude of different scenarios. You can have an online store. Whatever it may be, you have so many options to create multiple streams of income. You're buying dividend-paying stocks. You're buying REITs on the stock market that own real estate that produces income. And so all these different streams of income allow your money to start working harder than you are. Because guess what? Your muscles and your strength and your ability to work a job is not infinite. It's a finite amount of time that you have in regards to your strength that you can trade for money. And so when you look at something, you're chasing money with the finite resource. Your muscles, you only can work so many hours out the day, but your time is infinite. And so the thing is, being able to realize how you can bring in systems to create time, bringing in other people to where now you can leverage their time to produce whatever it is that you're producing. That is how you build wealth, and that is how you build that next level of resources, those multiple streams of income. And so for me, it was building a business that was on fixing and flipping houses. 2020, we bought our first apartment complex, and I saw the power of scale, with the economy of scale, with apartments where you buy multiple units with one transaction. You're just it's producing income from day one, an asset, production, and then from there we just update the units and we increase the rent whenever somebody moves out. And so it's that simple. And you have challenges along the way. I fired property managers. You have mismanagement there, where people aren't producing. They're not high skilled individuals on your team, and you have to make changes. But at the same time, you also have issues and situations that happen in regards to, you have theft, you have vandalism. So there's a lot of challenges. You have to evict people that don't pay and work with the people side of it. But those challenges and being able to solve those problems, that's where opportunity comes in. And so you have to figure out how to get those multiple streams of income. And the sooner you're able to learn how to create multiple streams of income, the sooner you're going to be able to exponentially start building wealth at a rapid pace. And then the last piece is legacy. You got to understand that it's bigger than you. The Bible says you're a blessing. You're a blessing to be able to give an inheritance to your kids' kids. And that's where you are. That's where you have to be. You have to look at the next generation and build that legacy where you're impacting other people's lives and you're operating at a higher level. For me, being able to coach and consult and help clients change their life to see how they can use the resources at their disposal. Just a couple weeks ago, had a client that just bought his first 4 unit using his VA loan, no money down in Jacksonville. So super proud of him. And being able to give people information, they go take action, they do it, and then we had our follow-up. It's like, hey, I'm ready. What's next? I'm like, hey, we got to get on this multifamily. You got to learn how to underwrite larger deals now. That's what's next, and how to raise money and build out the capital stack to do these deals. And so that's the thing that you have to figure out is, what's the legacy that you're building? What's the why? Why are you doing it? And being able to bring the pieces together from a leadership perspective on who do you need in your circle? Who do you need around you? Who's your mentor? Who are the people that are guiding your footsteps to build that ultimate legacy for your family? And so I've been blessed to, have this side business, this second stream of income. My wife didn't have to work the last, 13 years of doing this. We created the business, and so she's been helping with that. We have cash flow in real estate and assets, while I retire now. I got my retirement, whatever, disability, and now moving into the next chapter of my life with being a financial advisor, focusing on alternative investment. So now I see institutional deals where, buying a couple $1 million apartment complex, I'm talking with fund managers that's raising $175 million that are buying multiple complexes across the Southeast to build wealth and giving a great return on these assets, oil and gas deals, private equity deals. And so just seeing a lot of the deals that, when you look at the top 10%, the top 1% of wealth holders in the United States, that private equity, these are alternative investments, is how they built their wealth over time. And of course, real estate right there. And being able to buy, these institutional deals allow you to get exponential returns. And so that's one of the things I'm extremely excited about, partnering with Right Time Financial. We're now having a complete access to, I think right now on the roster we have 12 advisors, just having another bench of people with services and products to help people level up. Because my passion is helping people build wealth and become the best CEO of their last name. And so having another partner with Right Time Financial, it was a perfect alignment of mission to bring on now more financial planning, access to institutional real estate deals. When we start looking at estate planning, we're helping people get their wills and trust set up, but then also being able to manage stocks and bonds, being able to manage investment portfolios for clients, and having individuals on the team with those skill sets is a game changer. And so I'm extremely excited, but it goes back to that transformation and building out and understanding that mindset to build wealth understanding the finances and creating those multiple streams of income, but then bringing in the legacy piece. Always understanding the legacy that you're building, where it's more than just for me. It's for my next generation. It is for my kids, and understanding how can I make really smart decisions now to set them up for success. So extremely excited about this next transformation that I'm having in my life as I transition out of the world's greatest Air Force and get that going. But I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys today. Be on the lookout for more things coming now that I have a lot more time to pour into more people and to share the journey and help other people build wealth. So let's go. Let's make some equity happen.